something that you're really looking to accomplish here in the next 12 months? What's a goal of yours?
Yeah, so I own some land I'd like to build on, and I have some plans for a triplex. I'm bullish on the furnished rentals. Maybe people think I'm crazy, but I do enjoy the furnished rentals.
Is
So
it long term? Is it long? Just to explain for the audience, is it Airbnb or is it furnished rentals but long term or mid rentals? Like 3 months, 6 months at a time.
okay, so my first good question. So my first furnished rental is in Worthington, near the downtown Worthington area, which is a pretty pretty hot little area, I think. Well, Worthington in general, but if you get close to the downtown area, there's restaurants and stuff like that. It's quaint, it's quiet, walkability to parks and schools and churches, and then you can walk and have a steak if you want, with less than a quarter mile away. So the location there has been great. But what I learned is that you can't do a rental in Worthington for less than 30 days, right? So, because of that, I stay, like, people get around that with Airbnb and
Sure.
and that just doesn't feel right to me. They put their stuff on Airbnb for 30 days, and then then you get a request for 2 days or a weekend, and then you put them in there, and then they leave, and sooner or later the city will knock on your door and they'll give you a fine or whatever the case may be. So
Right.
So short-term furnished rentals for me. So I've had someone in the Worthington house since February. The other ones that I have, it kind of depends on where they're located, but the furnishings have to be thought out. I put them online. So I have them professionally staged, and then like the furniture and the pictures hanging on the wall, then the silverware, and they're all, super high def, new TVs and stuff like that. So people will pay a premium if they can just stay at a place for a weekend or a week or a month, and they've got internet, their yard is mowed. There's 2 sets of dishes, there's 4 sets of towels, there's dish soap, there's, all of the above. And and I think that's a really great avenue for me personally. But yeah, it kind of depends on where you're at.
I mean, even I'm just thinking from a real estate agent standpoint, having you as a connection for people that are needing 30 days between homes or 2 weeks between homes.
Sure. Yeah.
They're building a house and, they need to move, get out of their current home and move before their new build's built, finished. So
yeah, it's really hard to find. I don't know if you've went out there and searched for a furnished rental that's nice looking in a nice part of town. But they're few and far between. My Worthington property right now is renting at just under $4,000 a month, and it's only 1,000. It's 1,002 square feet above grade. So it's not a huge place by any means, but there's a huge opportunity there. But it takes money, it takes time. You have to buy all the the beds and the bedding and the dust ruffles and all that kind of jazz, and then you got to buy TVs and you've got to mount them, and you've got to have internet, and you have to pay for the internet or Wi-Fi, all that good stuff. It takes a little bit of time, a little bit of effort, but there's opportunities there for sure.
What's a 5-year goal for you?
5-year goal. That's great. Great question. I'm going to own some big apartment buildings by then in the next 5 years. And then I'd like to get some commercial space as well, to do mixed use as well. So I'd like to have a few apartment buildings with retail underneath. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously I plan to grow my construction company and my real estate as well. I've also thought about, and I haven't really decided yet, But if you could figure out how to renovate and resell a house, and brand it and do it really well, like I just bought a harp home, right? Well, people that, if you've sold 50 harp homes, you renovated it from beginning to end, and you provide a certain quality. I think that could be branded. I don't know that
Yeah.
anybody has done that here, but that would be really cool. And I have to think that through. There's a lot of moving parts there, but if you could, build a brand around your renovations and the houses you sell, where you sell them, and how much you sell them for, you could be the Cadillac of home remodelers. I
Yeah.
think flipping has a negative connotation, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Uh, but
I like
I could
I like the
something.
way I've never really thought about that, right? I like the way that you're thinking through that, because I mean, it's almost like the stamp of approval, right? Like, this is, stamped, done. There's probably got to be a few key things that you see in that type of renovation, right? Some key things. Um,
I mean, I think you would put together a list that somebody that buys one of your homes will know that the foundation has been inspected and reinforced if needed, dug out, rebuilt, whatever the case may be, and have it recertified by an engineer. If you sell a house that's built in, XYZ year or older, then you're going to rewire the whole house or put in a new electrical panel,
yeah,
or the roof is older than its life expectancy, even though it's working perfectly fine. You take the roof off and put a new one on.
yeah,
If you put together a criteria like that, new windows, new flooring, the grade of luxury vinyl planking you're using is above a certain threshold, stuff like that. I think
right,
that well, it's funny that I just mentioned roof. That house in Arlington, the second house I ever sold, it's an old farmhouse built in 1901, and my clients had bought it in 1970 and had never put a roof on it. It's got a super steep pitch. The insurance company called me. They're like, "Well, how old's the roof?" I'm like, "We don't really know. Hold on." And I called my clients, and they're like, "We've lived here since 1970. We've never put a roof on." It's like, oh, geez. So yeah, I think that would be pretty cool to be able to provide, and then build a brand around, Chip and Joanna Gaines. I mean, something,
yeah,
along that line. But
yeah. No, I love it. Um, what's a legacy goal for you? What's a goal that you want to hit when you're no longer here?
yeah, so that's something I thought about a lot lately. Is legacy. Like, what am I going to leave behind? And it keeps me up at night. To be honest with you, it's something I think about every day. And I would like to have a building somewhere, some way, somehow, have a building that I can leave to my family, and that building and that piece of property provide for other people. And I don't know if it's providing continuing education, providing physical fitness education, or whatever the case may be. But I'd love to have a building, my own building, that I could leave to my family. So when my grandkids, great grandkids, so on and so forth, are older, they can say, "Man, look at that." My grandpa, great grandpa, whoever